every year that you live, that world will get bigger and brighter.
You have delivered monologues before, but a Mike Flanagan pen monologue is a one-of-a-kind thing. So what's something unique you had to do to prepare to deliver these lines?
Well, I had to be completely sound on the words and intention. I didn't want to be, it's my first day. I worked with him one day. I have a very small part in the movie, and I didn't want to screw it up. That's the truth. So I made sure I was dialed in, buttoned up. I usually am. I very rarely am not. But in this particular moment, I did not want to suck.
Oh my God, you do. The fact that you're still thinking about it that way just blows my mind. Because seriously, something else with that scene. Last we spoke, you stressed that there's a freedom to how Mike approaches directing his actors on set. So can you tell me something you were able to accomplish with that scene, only because that is his approach to working?
Yeah, a lot of times directors, especially writer directors, come with a very clear intention of what they expect or want that part to be. Mike has that same idea about what he wants the part to be in the overall picture, but allowed me to bring what is quintessentially me to the part, which is a sense, I think, of hope and wonder and charm. And this really sort of like, at the end of the day, he has this really beautiful emotional epiphany in the middle of it. And I don't know if any of us expected all of that on the day as written. But he allowed for that to happen, and I think that's what makes him so special.
That's definitely very well said there. When I spoke to him at TIFF, he told me that when he was making this movie, he could already feel like he was making the best movie he has ever made. So I'm curious what that's like from your perspective. What does it look like when you are working with a director who on the spot is already getting the feeling that this could be the best film of his career?
Yeah, there's something, I think, like when you think back about the great athletes, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Peyton Manning, whatever, they have those moments where they're quote unquote in the flow and they're not going to miss. They're not going to miss the shot. They're going to win the game. There's something about being in that state of total confidence that allows for everything around it to rise to the moment. And I do think that Mike in this, look, I was there for a very limited amount of time, but when I was there, he just felt, I don't know, in the flow. Like it felt like you were stepping into something incredible, and there was weight in that, and that that elevates everything around it, from performance to the crew to the sound and mix. And when you're on something, like there's jobs in Hollywood where you are there to make money and feed your kids, and there's jobs where you're an artist, and this is the latter. So it was really a lovely. I mean, it's just a gift.
Got to put the focus on your scene partner in that moment too, because it's of the utmost importance to have the perfect person to play off of when you're delivering a monologue like that. So what did Chiwetel give you in the moment that helped you, not only deliver your best work, but maybe even exceed your own expectations for your work?
Yeah, I mean, look, that scene is definitely a lot of, I'm monologuing at him a lot. And so, and I didn't know Chiwetel before this, right? And so you're kind of stepping in, you're making friends, you're saying hi. We bowled that weekend before we went bowling for a second. We never sort of bowled at the same time, but there's like, I don't know. He's a professional. He has weight to him, right? He's there for the same reason you are, has the same intention. And so I think that, it's that thing where game seems game. I'm going to all these weird sports metaphors, but there's this thing where he knew where I was going and saw what I was doing and was completely available to it. And that's all you can ask for in a scene partner.
I have to ask, what'd you bowl? Where were you at in your bowling skills?
Not good. I was much better at ordering the beers.
It's fair enough. I feel like if you have to have one skill or the other, I kind of respect that skill.
There you go.
Two personal questions inspired by the Life of Chuck story.
Yeah.
First, obviously, I'm obsessed with this part of the dialogue. The universe is large and it contains multitudes, but it's the second half that keeps getting me. But it also contains me. And in this moment, I am wonderful and I have the right to be wonderful. Can you tell me the last time you stopped and thought to yourself, like, I am wonderful?
Oh, such a good question. You ask the best questions. Yeah, I have these beautiful moments. Like I do conventions all the time. I'll go and sit in like fan conventions, and there's two ways to look at that. It becomes a transaction between two people in terms of like I give you an autograph and you give me money. And so that's one aspect. But the reality is that I believe that you can be present for people. And if you're available to affect change in somebody's life in a very short amount of time, that's very possible. And either holding, a trans kid in the middle of America, or fighting, or somebody fighting their addictions, or somebody obese, like if you can be present for them, hold them, see them, make them feel seen, I think there's real value in that. And there's definitely moments in my life where I know I've directly impacted a kid's life or somebody's life. And so that to me is a moment where I feel like that's why sometimes I think I'm put on this earth, is to make people feel seen.
I've seen you do it with my own eyes. It's something truly special. I have to end with a question about Five Nights at Freddy's, the sequel, because the last time we were chatting, you mentioned that you were going into filming the movie, and you had mentioned that the second film was bound to benefit from the lessons you all learned making the first. So now, having shot the sequel, can you pinpoint a specific lesson you all learned on film one that we'll be able to see influencing film two?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I think that, a lot of fans wrote back or chimed in about more action, more jump scares, more sort of like what they loved viscerally about the game. And I think that Scott and Emma took their time to listen. And I think that fans will be excited about part two.
I am very excited about part two. I think I have time to squeeze in one more.
Yeah,
So
I'm
gonna dare to do it. It's another one inspired by Life of Chuck, and something that Mike had said during TIFF. He mentioned that he wants the movie to inspire people to put down the briefcase and let yourself dance, like whatever that means to you, whatever kind of expression you need to do in order to experience joy, painting, being with family, writing, being athletic. So my question for you is, what is your personal version of joy dancing, the thing that lets your heart out?
Yeah, we had a reading in my house this last week of Much Ado About Nothing, cold reading of a Shakespeare play on a random Wednesday night, gathering with the people that I choose, my chosen family of actors and artists, and stumbling our way through the bard. I mean, that sounds very poncy and very fancy pants, but the reality is that we sat there. We drank some cheap wine, ate some cheap food, and just were in fellowship. And to me, it's either gathering around a gaming table playing Dungeons and Dragons, sitting amongst artists and actors. Those are my favorite places to be. And my kids joined the reading. So, the fact that my kids are at an age now where they can sit in and elevate the text better than I can is my favorite thing.
Oh, such a beautiful answer. I love it. You know how much I love this movie. I've seen it so many times since we last spoke.
Oh, you have?
Oh my God. So good.
You think that people are responding?
I think it's inevitable that people will respond. I think people have already, based on that People's Choice Awards, the Audience Award at TIFF, but I think you're going to have a whole lot more of that coming your way. Stop saying you're in a little part of the movie. You're a big part of it. It's all
I'm a very small part.
No small parts. This movie is something that proves that. Huge congratulations, and thank you for your time today.
It's always good to see you. You're the best.